You've read an email or read something or seen something, your mind started getting active already as well. So using the body here just to shake it off, and I'm touching the my palms of the hand to the flesh of my cheeks and taking a deep breath in and release. One more time, breathing in and relax. And now place the palms over your eyes and resting your elbows on your chest. Take a breath in and relax as you breathe out. Let the weight of your head rest in your palms. And very slowly let your hands come and rest down while your head is lowered. And allow your hands to rest on your thighs. And feel the stretch on the back of your neck as your head is lowered. And slowly bring your head to your left. Doing a gentle circle here, a stretch. As your body allows, don't strain anything. Do it very slowly so you can feel from the inside what this feels like. And no need to put any words to what the feeling is like. Simply allow the sensations to be. Let yourself pause in any time of this head circle, and again to the other side. You could pause anywhere in the circle that feels good. That allows a certain ease and relaxation. Or pausing to notice what the tension feels like, what the stretch feels like. And what's it like to breathe with the stretch. And resting finally the head down again. And then slowly roll from the shoulders, the bottom of the neck there to allow the head to come upright. And resting easily on top of the shoulders. And then let's go ahead and raise your shoulders up towards the ears. Hold it and feel the tension there. Yeah, this is what's it like to be tense. Ooh. And then slowly release. Yeah, feel the difference there. This is where we usually hold tension to, is in the shoulders. And now clenching our hands, our fists. Bring all the fingers together and clench it really hard. Again. Breathe there and feel the tension as you pause. And relax, opening up the fingers. Feel the release. And let's just go ahead and rest here in silence for a couple minutes. Aware of the groundedness of the body, the weight of the body received by the gravity of the earth. And let the breath be gentle and easeful. pausing from the everyday activities with the mind and the body, and offering this kindness, this being here, to release to whatever extent is available, and knowing that there's some tensions that may still be there, and that's okay. To accept and allow what cannot be released. As we pause and relax, and giving ourselves permission to be with conditions as they are right now. If the mind is restless, so be it. No need to get involved, no need to be judgmental. And receive if there are any pleasant sensations in this moment. Let that be felt and let that be known in the body. Let it ooze, let it spread. You have all the time in the world. Imagine that. What a gift to let go. Pausing again to bring awareness. What's here now? Tension or ease or something in between. And choosing ease, choosing relax, inviting that, and see what happens. Or simply no need to make anything out of this moment. Just resting in the awareness. The easefulness is all perhaps of being alive in this moment. Relax. Slowly open your eyes. And remember to stay connected. If there's that awareness still available, if there's a sense of ease, to now open to what is known with the sight, with eyes, with what is seen here, and see if there's any difference. So today I already began with a couple prompts to support this, support the quieting, the stilling of the body, mind for us to come into our practice today. So anytime during today, if you start to get a little tight, noticing tension in the body and the mind, I invite you to pause and relax throughout. These are the first two guidelines of Insight Dialogue. And Insight Dialogue is a interpersonal relational practice. And I'm introducing them today because we're also practicing and studying the precepts. This is the fourth. Today we're doing the fourth of the 5 precepts, the fifth or the fourth mindfulness trainings. And they're known as Sila in Pali, the language of the Buddha. And the intention behind Sila is to help guide us, to train us into how to be a friend to ourselves, how to be a friend with each other, how to live harmoniously. It's an interpersonal practice. So the relationship with Insight Dialogue, I thought was quite apt. So I wanted to bring that into our practice today. Sila is the way in which our intentions manifest. These trainings are in which our intention wishing to be wholesome, to be kind, to wish no harm upon anyone. And that's the foundation of our path. So let's go ahead and chant the 5 precepts. I'm going to chant this first in Pali so you can hear what it sounds like in Pali, and then I will go ahead and do it in English, and then I will have you repeat after me. I'll just repeat it again in English, but not in Pali. And I'll invite a sound of the bell also after each precept. I'm going to bring the palms together in Anjali if you wish. Panatipata Verwanami Sika Patam Samadhyami. I undertake the training to refrain from destroying living beings. Repeat after me. I undertake the training to refrain from destroying living beings. Atinatana Verwanami Sika Patam Samadhyami. I undertake the training to refrain from stealing or taking that which is not freely given. I undertake the training to refrain from stealing or taking that which is not freely given. Kamesu Michara Veranami Sika Padam Samadhyami. I undertake the training to refrain from sexual misconduct. I undertake the training to refrain from sexual misconduct. Musawada Verwanami Sika Padam Samadhyami. I undertake the training to refrain from false speech. I undertake the training to refrain from false speech. Sura Miraya Maja Pamatatana Verwanami Sika Patam Samadhyami. I undertake the training to refrain from taking intoxicants which cause carelessness and cloud the mind. I undertake the training to refrain from taking intoxicants which cause carelessness and cloud the mind. I undertake the training to refrain from taking intoxicants which cause carelessness and cloud the mind. Idam me silam maga phala nasana pachayo hotu. May my conduct be the condition for the attainment of the highest fruits of liberation. May my conduct be the condition for the attainment of the highest fruits of liberation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, friends. So this being human is not easy. We're vulnerable. We're sensitive. We get hurt and we hurt other people too, intentionally or unintentionally. This fourth mindfulness training was very briefly stated. The 5 precepts there were taken from the Theravadan tradition. So it's very simple to avoid false speech. And why is that? Why would that cause harm? Maybe you know that already. Can you feel the tightening in the body when you just hear that false speech? In this day and age, what is real? Oh my goodness, what is true? When I say in this day and age, you might start to think about what's outside, right? What's happening in the world. And we, being sensitive human beings, each of us receive that affects us. And how do we respond to it? How does it affect our mind? How are we conditioned or influenced by it? How much of that do we internalize? And when the light of the Buddha or the teachings shine, when the sun shines, you know how these days is springtime, at least on the East Coast, it's really visible. Finally, the flowers are blooming, trees are blooming. I think of the Buddha's teachings like that. If we can allow that to shine, when we can receive that in our hearts and mind, we can allow the wisdom, the lotus in our heart to bloom. So this is with the loving speech and deep lessening, this fourth precept. We are also prone to aversion, to ill will. Can you recollect a time, perhaps even just now, when somebody says something unkind to you? Or maybe you just woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Or you read something, and then your blood started to boil, or your stomach started to churn, your body started to tighten. You start to have these thoughts in the head like, how could you? What do you mean? Hmm. Can you see that, um, like having aversion in our mind, in our heart? I want to say that's also part of being human. That's the sensitivity of being human. But how do we respond to that? Knowing that that does happen, knowing the feeling, the tightness, you know, some sensitivity, some old wounds got triggered, got touched into, and we're aware of thoughts that arise that are unkind in ourselves in response to that. What the training is teaching us is that we will not act in those ways. We will not speak divisively. We will not go ahead and say, you rotten scoundrel, you blah, blah, you know, or or even proliferate in our mind. Like as soon as awareness, as the sunshine, as soon as the light is there, you know that's not going to liberate, that's not going to make you happy. So the Buddha teaches compassion in that moment. If you felt hurt from that, if you felt the tightness arising within the body, relax, pause to notice what's there. And is it possible to offer relax there, to invite relaxation? Kindness to yourself for the parts that felt hurt by the unkind speech, by the unintentional stepping on your toes or something in your heart. If that cannot be released, can you invite compassion for that? Just this wish for this being to feel better. And with that, can that become some softening, some understanding that what happened is a result of these causes and conditions. Your own sensitivity is a result of the conditioning you've had or things that happen. Maybe you were hungry, maybe you were busy, maybe the other person or the situation happened in such a way. So that it's not so personal per se, but we could take responsibility for how we want to respond to this. And the Buddha is inviting us to practice pause and relax, to practice kindness, compassion, when we're aware of that hurt and aware of that impulse to want to speak unkindly, to want to, because, you know, it's that moment. So I'm going to invite you now with that contemplation to practice in dyats. Um, so this we're going to go into two breakout groups. So I simply would like you to go into the room. The person with the shortest hair will go first. And if you don't know who has the shortest hair, you just decide, you know, who's going to go first. And each of you will have about just 4 minutes, not much to share. And the lesson will just lesson with your kind awareness and just listen fully. Like, you know, no need to make comments. Just be compassionate, kind, presence. And then I'll speak into the room when after 4 minutes, let you know it's time to switch. And then speaker two will begin. And then after that, we'll come into the big room. So just that. So recollect the time. It could be even just something that happened today, something felt unkind to you, and some, you know, unkind speech, some divisive, false speech, you know, it's coming up in you. Right? That feeling is coming up. Notice the contraction. Feel what that's like. Yeah. So bring that, speak to that, just one sentence to speak to that. And then you're going to then continue with that, or what that feel. You're going to share with your partner what that feels like in the body. It may sound like this, like, oh, I could feel my stomach tightening up. My head's getting warm. I don't even know if I want to do this. Can I go there? Can I forgive? I don't think that's too fast. So I'll just stay with the body and my breath. Just notice what that feels like. And what's it like if I just invite softening? Oh, taking a deep breath, knowing that this happened. Maybe that's enough for the contemplation. So, no hurry. You simply just gonna see what arises and let it be the present moment awareness in the very moment, using pause to be aware of what's happening now and relax to whatever extent that can be relaxed and released. Okay, so inviting you to go, I'll open up the rooms now, inviting you to go into the room. Pausing. You might be in the middle of speech, speaker one. I'm inviting you to just drop it. Even if you're in the middle of something, let the words go. Return to the sensations of the body, both speaker and listener. Pause. Let the mind rest and the body relaxed. And notice whatever tension there might be that's residual. And let that be as well. We're continuing to practice pause and relax in the silence. If it helps, take a deep cleansing breath and let go with exhalation. And now inviting speaker two, just with one sentence, recollect maybe a time when you felt harmed or hurt by some unkind speech or act, and the feelings and thoughts of aversion, of divisive speech or unkind speech arose in your mind and heart. The body contracts. So speak to that. Just one sentence to describe what happened, and then spend the rest of the time in this present moment of how it is right now to feel this, to pause and notice what happens with this. And when you invite relax, ease, kindness, compassion, how does that change? Does anything shift? Just take your time, using pause and relax. Speaker two. Yep, you guessed that. Pausing, relax into silence, letting the words go. Notice any forward momentum that was happening. How's the body now? How's the mind and the heart? Having spoken, the truth to the best you can, and having been listened or having listened to another, sharing their difficulty, their tenderness. So again, take a deep breath in and release if that is helpful, supportive with this practice of pause and relax. And in the next couple minutes, I'm going to invite you to have an open dialogue. So that means dropping separate speaker and separate listener roles. You just spontaneously speak into the space and listen, taking, a turn as you wish. And I'd like you to just share what that was like, what that process was like, to have this kind of interpersonal relational practice. What was it like to be listened to? What was it like to speak when someone else is listening with awareness? How was awareness? How was mindfulness? Was it magnified? Was it available? How about kindness and compassion, ease? Or maybe not. So just a couple minutes on that. Continuing to use pause and relax as you speak and listen. So the room will close in 60 seconds. I want to use this minute to offer thanks or wrap up. Any last words? Enjoy. Welcome back, friends. Thank you for your practice. And I'm sorry if that was a bit short because it is short. Usually I do this over 90-minute time, and this is kind of the very abbreviated version. So I hope you did have a chance to touch into it. And we'll have a few minutes maybe before for you to share it in the larger group. Continue to use pause and relax. What was that like? I just want to maybe any discoveries, insight. So sort of like sharing the fruit of your practice with the whole group now.